So the state of Nevada has a new task force, and you'll never guess who is going to be the head of that task force. He's doing it for free. What a nice guy. Secondly, we're going to talk about the homeless and how there's really no comprehensive plan for those folks during this time of trouble. And we're going to also talk about how people who are stuck at home are still expected to pay their restitution. How does that make any sense? My name's Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be in the credits of the video, go over to Patreon, and that's where today we're going to be talking about how the clubs made for gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about, tried to stay open, and how one of them actually almost got pretty big damages and fines right to the very end. Like, share, subscribe. Those are topics I cannot talk about on YouTube. Sorry, it's just a YouTube thing. So send YouTube an angry letter, not me. So that's it, and we're going to go, first of all, first news of the day. There's a task force. Don't you love task forces? I always wanted to be a part of the task force when I was younger. Or maybe that was the Space Force. But that's a thing too now. The task force that Steve Sisolak announced yesterday. And guess who's heading it up? Former MGM CEO Jim Mirren. Because if there's one person that you want to put in charge of a completely chaotic thing, it's the head of a former casino company that made a bunch of bad decisions and laid a bunch of people off. Yeah. Anyways, Jim Mirren's doing it for free. Isn't that cool? I can't believe he's donating all this time. Of course, he did sell $22 million of stock right before he exited, or was it right after he exited MGM Resorts International, and he sold it at a very good price. No. He didn't sell it at the whatever the stock is today, $10, $13. No. He sold it when it was pretty valuable. So anyways, it doesn't matter how much he sold it for. It was $22 million. So if my sarcasm meter is 12 out of 10 right now, it's just because I don't understand the logic in all this. There's plenty of other smart business minds that you can put in charge of a task force, and you don't need somebody who was responsible for the layoffs and the digitization of a company and the layoffs of all these people over the last year and a half, 2 years, and bringing MGM into the digital future and making all this instability. You don't need that person in charge, in my opinion, but you could tell me if I'm a complete wacko on that. But they're going to be updating us because we're in Nevada and we have almost nothing in terms of local news. It's not a big deal. They're probably just going to go on a Facebook Live every now and then and tell us what's going on. And the main thing is we need to figure out a way to stay inside. Stay inside. Don't go outside if you don't have to go outside. But some people do have to go outside. So the next thing we're going to talk about right here is the homeless population. And they have a problem getting inside, especially now. So if you were going to go on the strip about, you know what, it seems like a million years ago, but even 3 months ago, if you were to go down to the strip, you would see homeless folks, but you would see that they could go a block off the strip and, you know, find a place to go inside and find a place to spend some change that they have to get something to eat at one of those cheap gas stations or a McDonald's restaurant. And now all the gas stations are open, but the McDonald's are closed, and where are these folks going to go? Well, according to the Nevada Independent, which is a news source that reports on the whole state, according to their report a few days ago, they're going to have 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll figure it all out. And I'm like, 2 weeks, you're going to figure it all out? These folks don't have a place to go, and it's harder for them. So whether or not you come from the school of thought of get a job, right now that doesn't apply to anybody because there's no jobs to be found. Or you come to the school of thought of compassion and caring, and that's fine. Or you have a nice like balance of the two of them. Then you have to realize that these folks are still really super vulnerable. Right now, like last night, it was 42 degrees. It rained on and off intermittently. If you get sick, you can get pneumonia. You can develop all these things, and that's tough on a person. That's really hard on a person. So it's harder right now. But they say something that I didn't understand. They say that these folks cannot practice social distancing, which I don't understand that myself, because even if you have to go interact with the real world, you can practice social distancing. You can go and stand 6 feet away. You can pay some money and then walk back. I think the biggest impact on the homeless right now is that the strip isn't there. There's nobody walking around. They can't rely on the charity of other people. But I'm a little bit disappointed that the health district has given a 2-week timeline to do anything. And if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. I'll totally make a retraction in tomorrow's video. I'm okay with that. I'm not too big. I'm not a news media source, right? I'm just a guy with a camera. But I think that's the biggest problem with it all. But to play devil's advocate, I can see where the Southern Nevada Health District is coming from, because they have to deal with 2 million people in the general population, field probably hundreds of thousands of calls a day and communicate with government, state, and then state goes up to the federal, and it's just really hard for everybody right now. But I just kind of wish that we had saw this coming, but nobody did, I guess, and I hope that they could come to a solution pretty darn fast. The next thing on the docket today was when I was searching around on the news, people who are stuck at home and you're on parole. Did you know they pay? I didn't know this. If you're on parole, even if you're not stuck at home, you pay $30 a month to have the parole officer come out, make sure that you're being compliant, make sure you're not doing something silly. They might give you like a breathalyzer test or any other kinds of tests, and those people are still paying. The state hasn't suspended those payments, which is funny because everybody suspended everybody's payments. There's 60 days where you can't do an eviction. There's 60 days where most of the mortgages are not going to be defaulted on. There's like 60 days where no cell phone company is going to go ahead and charge and turn you off. There's 60 days where your cable's not turning you off. But on top of paying that $30 a month, if you're on a state planned a restitution program, like you have to pay, let's say they say, hey, your fine is $1,000. That'll be $333 over 90 days of parole or whatever. You still have to pay that. Yeah, you're still paying that, which is really weird. It seems like the state's trying to generate income from people that can't generate income from themselves. And I think when you put people into that position, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you just put people into a position where now they're going to try really, really hard to try to figure out ways to make money. So I'd hate to see those people that are allowed to leave their house. They're not geographically locked with a collar on their ankle or anything like that, going to places, buying things, marking up the prices, or taking the risk to commit petty crimes in order to make money. That sucks. I would hate to see that happen. But that could be a thing that could happen in this case. So when you have silly things that happen like this, sometimes it forces people to be desperate. And we are in a desperate times right now. It's going to go away. We're going to get to a point where we don't have to live like this anymore. But this is going to be something that's going to happen if you don't give people some grace. You got to give them a little bit of grace. Now, I'm pretty much not going to ever share with you my political stuff, but I do believe in giving people a little bit of grace in times of troubleness, because you have to just kind of realize that we're all in the same thing together. It's not like people are choosing to do things when they're desperate. So, hopefully we can all come together, be charitable, and give people some slack. You got to cut some people some slack once in a while, right? Or maybe you don't. You tell me in the comments below. But those are my news updates for today. It's March 23rd right here on the channel. My name is Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. If you know of any good news, why don't you throw it in the comments below or send me an email. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. If you guys want to check out that Patreon where we're going to talk about those clubs made for gentlemen's, you can do that. There's a tier. I got to do it there because I can't do it on Facebook or on YouTube or Facebook. That's just the way it is. These people have censorship and they want to keep it clean as a lima bean, and that's just the way it is. So now's the time of the video where I sign off, tell you to be good out there, tell you make some phone calls, maybe you want to volunteer some time. I don't know what you're going to do with your time, but like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching my videos. Let me know if you like the studio. The lighting situation's not great and it's pretty bare behind me, but we'll fill that out over time as things get better and money gets better too. 3, 2, 1, I gotta go, and click.